And welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andrew Kraft. We do want to get into more of these election-related headlines. A Live Now look over the skyline of Atlanta, Georgia at the moment. Major news coming out of the Peach State today. This is what we know. The Georgia Election Board passed a rule that will go into effect October the 14th. It will require the hand counting of ballots on election night. Now, critics from both parties and the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, who oversees elections in the state, have criticized the Republican-controlled board over the last-minute changes. The Secretary of State and county elections officials have said these measures will delay reporting results in the state. Donald Trump has in the past commended the board member for some of their actions. This was a vote 3-2, Republicans on the board gaining an advantage there. Well, we relied today on Fox 5 Atlanta reporter, our friend there, Tyler Finger, to talk about this vote today and what it's going to mean for the general election in this very crucial battleground state. Let's watch.
Those rules will increase confidence in our voting process and will be virtually invisible to the voters' experience.
The idea that you're not going to listen to the individuals that are charged with conducting elections is absurd to me.
People on both sides of the spectrum voiced their views Friday to the Georgia Elections Board as members looked at nearly a dozen rule changes less than 50 days before Election Day. The meeting comes as ballots for the general election are already in the hands of voters. One of those changes would require poll workers to count the number of paper ballots by hand at each polling precinct.
I don't understand why this big uproar is going on.
Charlene Alexander is one of the people behind the change. Some county election officials told the board they have concerns.
To say that it would not cause delays on election night is not true or accurate. It will cause delays for certain counties.
After a lengthy debate, it passed.
Motion passes 3-2.
That vote went against the advice of the state attorney general's office, the Secretary of State's office, and an association of county election officials. 3 board members who were praised by former President Donald Trump during a recent Atlanta rally voted to approve the measure, including Janelle King.
This will kind of create that same uniformity. We have another layer just to ensure that the precinct count is right. If the precinct count is right, the county count is right, and then the state count is right.
In a memo sent to election board members, Attorney General Chris Carr's office said state law doesn't allow for counting of ballots by hand at the precinct level, something the board chair echoed after the vote.
It's not grounded in statute anywhere that I can find. And so to me, it's an issue that the legislature needs to take up. If they want people to count ballots after they come out of the machine, then the legislature should say so.
All right, we thank Fox 5 Atlanta reporter, our friend there, Tyler Finger, down south, for bringing us that story today. Back out live to Atlanta there. This, a little bit more from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. They say the rule requires a count of the number of ballots cast, not a count of which candidate received more votes. The vote total would be reported separately. Under the rule, 3 poll workers in each precinct would sort ballots into piles of 50 after polls close, or they could return to the elections office the next day to conduct the hand count. The count would have to match the count recorded by the ballot scanner. All right, we also are getting in a statement from Secretary of State there in Georgia, Brad Raffensperger. He says this, that Attorney General Chris Carr has stated that these rules would not withstand a legal challenge. And I have worked every day to strengthen Georgia's election law to ensure our elections remain safe, secure, and free. Georgia voters can be confident that the reforms we've enacted since 2020 and have defended in court from frivolous attacks by Stacy Abrams will ensure only American citizens vote in our elections. Our reforms have made Georgia elections the safest in the nation, and I work every day to keep it that way. So Brad Raffensperger coming out in this pretty strong, full-throated statement against this ruling, this vote today. The board there approved the hand counting rule 3-2 with the backing of 3 board members. Republican Donald Trump commended as quote-unquote pit bulls during an Atlanta rally last month. Now, the chairman of the board is a Republican, and its only Democratic member opposed the rule. So wanted to bring you all sides of that major story in Georgia. It's a story we're going to stay with throughout the weekend.